Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk Whiskey. I'm Nick, here with you as always, and thanks for tuning in for episode number 79. Now, if you've been watching the past two episodes, you'll know that we've done a little mini-series on Glenmorangie's core range. So this is a continuation of that, and we have the Glenmorangie Quinta Ruban. So, I already poured a bit because I took one take of this review and almost knocked the bottle and glass all the way over. So instead of downing that glass because I have so little left, journeying on, I figured I would just keep with it and use this. Usually I go and pour it during the review. But anyway, so the Quinta Ruban is similar in the maturation process to the original and the La Santa for the first 10 years of its maturation time. So it gets aged for 10 years in American oak barrels, which are used no more than 2 times, which is a really nice selling point of Glenmorangie. You know, they're not using their barrels upwards, 4 or 5 times, not really getting that much out of them. Some places just way overuse their barrels. Anyway, so for the La Santa, it goes in for another 2 years in Spanish, Oloroso, and Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, whereas the Quinta Ruban goes into port pipes for 2 years from the Quintas region of Portugal. So, interesting thing about this, which I found, is that right on the bottle under the Quinta Ruban, it says aged 12 years, non-chill filter. So, that is interesting about this bottle because it's not on the other two, the original and the La Santa, and I haven't got into the Nectar d'Or, but I do not see it on there. No. So, I only see it on the Quinta Ruban, even though on Glenmorangie's website, I believe the La Santa, I'm not sure about the original, but they say that they're non-chill filtered on the website, but again, it really only matters to me, or should only matter, if it's on the bottle, or on the packaging somewhere, if it comes with a little tin or something, if you were to buy the 750 milliliter bottle, or the standard, whatever standard it is in the country that you live in. So, there is that going for it. Now, you're going to be paying a little bit more for this if you were to buy the full-size bottle of it. But to combat that little higher price, you get a little bit higher ABV. So the La Santa and original are bottled at 43% ABV. The Quinta Ruban and the Nectar d'Or are bottled at 46% ABV. So that's always nice. Now let's get into color of this. It's picking up a nice little color from those port pipes that it's aging those 2 extra years in. Again, it's not on the bottle, it's not on the packaging, it's nowhere else. We don't know if there is caramel coloring added to this or not. Possibly. Maybe not. Who knows? Well, anyway, let's go in for the nose. Now, one thing you'll notice about this is on the nose, it's got a really sharp bite to it. It doesn't, soothe in there with the 10 years of the American oak aging where you might pick up some vanilla notes or that sort of thing, but you're getting the really kind of punchy notes of the grapes and of that port wine. Almost a wintergreen notes to it. Definitely fruits in there like oranges, but a really sweet nose to it. So let's go in for the taste. This is delicious. And it's got a really in-depth wealth of flavors going on in there. The first thing that I'm getting when I drink it is a very deep, rich, juicy, ripe grapes in there. And after that, it starts getting into a little more overripe grape, a little more stringent on the nose, getting into that wintergreen taste, menthol a little bit, mint. But very sweet on the tip of the tongue. And those really richer, deeper flavors like the fruitiness, this undercoating of sweet, really sweet vanilla, like like vanilla used in a milkshake or malted milkshake, that sort of thing. Just really sweet. It's almost like if you're drinking vanilla right out of the bottle. It's got a really rich, deep depth of flavor, and the mouthfeel is incredibly chewy. It's got some weight to it. The finish is long lasting. It's going to be there for a while. This would be a great after dinner whiskey. It's almost like having a little wine. I don't have the dropper this time, but I'm just going to add a little bit of water in there just to let things open up. Let the whiskey talk to the world around it. See what's going on, see if anything opens up, see if anything changes so we get a little bit more out of this. Definitely adding the water, even though I didn't add a ton, it's definitely taking down the initial bite, you know, where it's almost like reaching out to you. It's astringent, it hits the tip of your nose there. It's the senses right around, you know, that region where, you know, you really have a reaction to it. It's not an alcohol nose or really strong sense, but it's this really overripe grape, some mintiness, some wintergreen, you know, that mint type of note. I gotta be honest, I didn't think I added a lot of water to that. Maybe I'll go back and maybe I'll see that I did add a little bit too much to it. But the problem I'm having now is that I'm really losing those initial back of the tongue notes. Those really rich grapes, raisiny, vanilla notes are all sort of going into the background. The orange, all of that seems to be fading away, and it really just like levels off. And I'm still left with the little hints on the tip of the tongue of the sweeter notes, the overripe grape, a little bit of that mintiness, but there's no real zest behind it. There's no like that. If you pop, you know, three like Altoids or something like that, and you get a real like sensation out of it. You do get that with this, but not when you add whatever quantity of water that I added to it, and I didn't add a lot to it. So if you're going to do this at home, I would first look at, you know, how much you've poured into the glass already. So I'm gonna see if we can come back from, you know, the negatives here just a little bit, see if we can get it back to earth. But be careful with how much water you put into this thing. I didn't realize, being so rich in flavors and really deep and complex, I thought it was going to hold water a little bit better than it does. At least to my taste. It may differ depending on, you know, how much whiskey you have in your glass, how much water you add, how much time you've left it out on the table. All those sort of factors will come into play in your own tastes. Getting a little bit of it back, but not certainly the same as just having the straight, just the whiskey in the glass without any water added to it. So I think if I were to drink this, especially after dinner of having, you know, a nice steak and potatoes and some veggies, that'd be a delicious meal right about now. But having this afterwards, that would be that would just set you free after that. And I really wouldn't add too much water to it. I don't think it really needs it, but I wanted to see what it did. You might as well, if you have it, might as well experiment with it. If you have a little bit like this, and you go and get this gift set, I would say be very cautious about how much water you put into it, because before you know it, this thing will be gone. I've only poured 2 glasses with this, and this being the second, so definitely be careful with that. I'll probably knock this thing out tonight. But yeah, so let's go in for the score. Trying to think back to before I added the water. That was a real letdown. So for episode number 79, I believe, we'll give it a 92 out of 100. I like it a little bit better than the Lasanta just because of how rich and deep and sort of strange those flavors are. The orange and mintiness and the vanilla, not something that you get every day, especially in a single malt whiskey. So there you have it. Next week we'll wrap this thing up. We'll do the Nectador, which is aged in Sauternes casks. So that'll be that. Till then, if you're going to drink responsibly as always, and see you next time.